Sorry, can I ask another question?
Yeah.
Um, because it resonated, the Lucas question resonated with me. It's something I've been dealing with lately, which is um, I, I have a shared custody, so every week I have my daughter. She's with me. She's 6 years old. I love her to death, but it's such a contrast between being a week by myself and a week with my daughter. It's like when I'm with myself, I have my discipline. I get up early, meditation, blah blah blah, blah, blah. And then with a 6 year old, I have to be full on most of the time, paying attention to her or her needs or whatever. So basically my life gets a bit, shaken when I'm with her, this type of discipline and silence and all of that. And I'm noticing now that it's almost, which I know it's not that like that, but the experience, it is like that sometimes, which is, it feels like I'm shanty shanty in a week, in another week I'm on daddy mode. And there's moments on that week, like daddy life in a week, there's moments where I still have the bliss and I still like, but it's much more dynamic in life and more like materialistic and more daddy role and house and going to the supermarket. And when I'm not, it's more like I said, more like bliss, shanti shanti, silence, and all of that. And I do feel sometimes it doesn't make any sense because the Atman, the self, it's unchangeable, and I do know that by experience. It's just my consciousness gets pulled into the dynamic life where there's stress, there's tiredness, and all of that. And sometimes it's overwhelming, and it's like, it's almost like I'm losing something, which I know I'm not, but it's like these ups and downs, which I have the confidence that will somehow stable as I mature into this knowledge. What
Yeah,
I've been trying
totally.
to do, what I've been trying to do, and then that's, I guess I'm going to the question is, I become much more persistent in my thing. I'm more persistent. I really don't want to fall back into these ups and downs. So I try every thought it pops into my mind, just observe it. So try to be every hour, every minute, try to be observing and not going with the immediate thought that pops into my mind. And this goes into when I'm with my daughter, like she asks something or she whatever tantrum, or not to go immediately to a reaction, just to be in that pullback space. And sometimes it feels like life smiles at me, like people come to me, oh, you look so different, or you're more smiley, or you're relaxed, or just like I attract more life like this when I'm in this distance. It's almost like it resonates more, contrasting to when I'm more reactive and more tired or stressful, whatever. It's almost like there's a contraction of life. So my question is this, sorry I'm taking so long. Is this a good exercise? Just this continuation of just being pulled back or being in the back and just watching the thoughts, and
Yeah,
because
totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
So yeah, totally. It's a discernment, like Nisargadatta Maharaj would call it discernment, discernment and moving back to witnessing. So you're discerning that that's not true. That's not true. But you can also add in there as well is understanding what you're seeking for. So what pulls you out of presence, what this moment is a seeking. So when you're in front of your daughter, what illusions you have coming up that's pulling you into reaction. So, and this is like the opposite way. So is there a need for your daughter's love, or do you feel bad about something, or do you feel like it's too much, like, or just an opposite, what is actually pulling you in. So a discernment about what's not true, but then an understanding and discernment about what actually pulls you in. So, because sometimes the thoughts are more superficial. So You know, they're going, oh, this. You've got to be here, got to be there, got to do this. And then underneath, what it might be is like a fear that you can't juggle anything, or a fear that you're not giving your daughter enough, or you're not doing it correctly. And then just acknowledging that fear is not true as well on a deeper level. So it's like, that's not true. And then there can be more of a relaxing into the body, and you're like, that's not true. I'm not here to make you happy. Obviously, you're there to serve the daughter, but it's like you're not, she's got to live out her own karma. Like you're in service of life, you're in service of everything that you have to do, but your daughter in the end has her own karma, and everything is happening beyond us. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's a deeper level. The other day I was biking here, and she knows like every day I have to do some sort of exercise. I don't go out in the running when she's with me, but I bike, I do kettlebells, whatever. And so this is daddy's time, and then you go and play. But it was in a week that she was really kind of, she wanted to be with me, and then suddenly I looked at her. It's like you're like you're the self looking back at me and trying and going in my things. Where is my resistance? Because those resistance are the thing that is blocking whatever, you know. It's more like, so I was just like, wow, like not a daddy looking at a kid which he loves. It's more like a self looking into another self, and maybe this is the play. This is your look. This is the play. Let's play together like this. I wish I could be like this 99% of the time when I remember this, but but what you said is yeah, just being even more aware of what's underlying, because that's thoughts come, but there's an underlying emotion there, and something there.
When you describe that about like looking at your daughter and seeing itself look at self, like that's more the bhakti part. It's so beautiful. It's like the more love part. It's like the recognition of self and self. And that comes in those moments when your mind really drops that there could be anything else. That's the biggest problem as a mind, is there could be something else. And it really drops it, and then it's just self looking at self, and then this is the love, like beyond her personality, beyond her needs and wants, and all these like different things, and personality and tantrum or happiness or playing or energy. Like there is the self looking at self. There's absolute stillness. Yeah, Ananda Mahima, and this can be so misinterpreted and could be used for somebody to justify abuse or bad relationships. But if you really get it from a deeper level, like Ananda Mahima, she used to say, you know, if you're a householder, so she lived in a very different time. She was born in 1897, I think. But if she were a householder, she would say, your job is to do your chores, to serve your husband or wife as if they're God, to serve your kids as if they're God, which they are. So it's like everything with service, like everything is reflecting back, this is God, this is God, this is God.
And that goes for everything, even the ones we don't really appreciate.
Yeah, all of it, all of it. Yeah, thank you, Bruno.